If you want to know what's going to be happening in another few weeks, stay tuned because Andrew Enns is here. He's the Vice President of Leger Polling. And if you also want to know, you have to contribute. I'm being reminded right now. So keep us on the air. We don't charge an awful lot, but every penny really, really counts. So since the election, Andrew, you were so busy during the election. Since then, do you think Canadians are pretty satisfied with the election results, or is there a lot of discontent aside from Alberta?
Yeah. Well, okay, that's another topic. Look, so, we asked a question right after we asked a survey right after the election, and 90% of Canadians were happy with their vote, happy with the decision. Are they satisfied with the result? Pretty decidedly mixed, much like the way the results showed up. 55% said they were satisfied, about 40% dissatisfied. So,
we're Canadian though, so I mean, even the dissatisfied aren't saying we're going to go and burn down, Ottawa.
No, we asked the question: do they trust the results? Do they respect the results? Over 60%, said that they did. I mean, I'd like to see that number higher, quite frankly, in terms of the trust in the actually. But since then, we've had some really close races, like one vote races. No one's coining the big steal or there's protests. So I think all in all, I think the election's done. I think there's a view. Carney's got a shot. See what happens.
Yeah, we're being Canadian and say, okay, you know what? Let's just see what happens. Now, what we did touch on Alberta. Alberta is maybe happier now that it looks like there's a ministry who's saying we're going to have, pipelines. We're going to have stuff coming out of the ground. We are not going to, bury you like Trudeau tried to. But is that going to quell separation talk?
You know what? Separation talk didn't start in this election, right?
Of course.
I mean, it's been probably generating over the last decade. I think it helps that the big bad man is gone, Mr. Trudeau.
Yeah.
And I think there is we put a poll to 1,000 Albertans, and a majority of them are prepared to give Carney a chance.
So
what happens.
That's very, very positive, obviously.
I think there's opportunity.
Do you think Canadians, are they optimistic then, not only about Carney, but about the economy?
It's a bit of another question on that one.
Yes.
I think there's a lot more going on. I mean, the tariffs haven't gone away. I think we've become acclimated to the tariffs and some of this stuff. So I think the anxiety has diminished, but the sense of economic optimism, I think that's still a ways away. I think there's caution that maybe things don't get worse. But there's still a lot to happen here.
You mentioned the tariffs, and it was a big deal during the election campaign. Are Canadians still afraid of Trump?
I don't know if we're afraid of Trump, maybe. I mean,
Cautious?
Cautious. I think there's people we sure don't like the guy.
Okay, well, we'll leave it at that. That's pretty definitive. Andrew Enns, thank you very much. 3 minutes. That was from Leger. To those of you who have subscribed and donated, a heartfelt thank you. You're keeping us on the air. If you're watching and you haven't, please try to do so, because 4 years ago we started this show because there needed to be independent analysis. Now more than ever, with the Online Harms Act, once that gets into law, it's been passed once by the House, there are going to be hundreds of bureaucrats censoring the news in Canada, censoring this show. We need to keep it on the air. Thanks for your support.